All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Living Hope Agency Call. I'm excited because I got a chance to spend some extra time with some of the Integrity partners here over the weekend. And Andrew Taylor, if any of y'all know Andrew, legend in the business, Integrity partner, built a huge agency, multi-time Hall of Fame producer. But one of the things that he's really spent the last few years diving into and working on is leads. Leads are the lifeblood of our business. The Integrity Lead Center is a game changer. Anybody who's been here for a while, maybe a year or two, this is just normal. You came in and we had the Integrity Lead Center. There's people on here like myself and I think Al, anybody who had the old CRM back before, we had the ILC, you'd go in and, if too many agents were trying to buy leads at the same time, it just would kick you out. You'd have no access to leads. There was times when we had agents who were getting triple and quadruple billed, with no refunds. We've come a long way when it comes to your ability to go ahead and buy leads. And if you look, Integrity, they've brought so much in-house for us to be able to find it in one place. Now we've got the Integrity Lead Center, and then, we've got different lead vendors outside of Family First Life that a lot of us, like and trust, compliant sources. I'm not going to sit here and name all the different vendors that we like to use, but the goal of Integrity that they're really trying to do is they want to make Integrity Lead Center the one-stop shop that you can get everything. So one of the biggest updates that happened here in the last couple of months is most of your favorite vendors are going to be starting to sell into the Integrity Lead Center. So you're going to be able to get your favorite leads in the ILC at a discount rather than going to their website. So that's a big thing that's coming. So some of your favorite vendors, if they are compliant and they want to do business with Integrity, they have the opportunity to sell their leads into the Integrity Lead Center. And that's where you guys are going to start to see a bunch of new lead types start to pop up. And some of y'all have seen those over the last month or so. Some of these social media leads, without naming, vendor names, are vendors that a lot of you guys know and love and use outside of the ILC that are now being sold in that we can then get at a cheaper rate, which is really exciting. So I'm just going to run through a handful of different lead types. We haven't done an overview of the ILC in a long time and some of the new things that we have coming, which I'm really excited about. So let me go ahead and share my screen here, and I'll let y'all give me a thumbs up once you can see what I got going. You guys see what I got going? Thumbs up. All right, fantastic. So let me go ahead and minimize that here. Perfect. Okay, so the Integrity Lead Center. Very simply, if you've never been in here before, you've got a spot to be able to order leads, a spot to set up campaigns, a spot to manage your leads, and a spot to create and use what are called vouchers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk through some of the different types of leads that we do have access to, because Integrity is a company that specializes not just in life insurance, but also they own health insurance companies. We do have access to health insurance leads. 99.9% of the time, you're going to spend your time in the life section of the tab on products. There's going to be some recruitment leads here in the future, which I'm really excited about if you want to build a team. If you guys know people like Grady Polson, who goes out there and runs his own Facebook ads to generate, agent leads and stuff like that, those types of campaigns you will have access to here in the ILC, which is great. So we'll just click on life for now. Coming here, and now we have a couple different categories. We've got the internet category, verified leads, which is brand new. I'll explain here in a second. Direct mail, and social media. So internet leads, this is probably the tab that most of you are most familiar with. This is where the ILC, we really built and cut our teeth on internet leads. So as you can see here, and there's even more internet leads available than when I first got started. So right here, this is kind of the main, this is nationwide. So our diamond life leads, these are leads that are, 1 to 2, days old. Our titanium, which are 0 to 10 days old, our platinum, which are 0 to 100 days old, our gold, which get a little bit older, silver a little bit older, bronze a little bit older, and obviously these are ranging anywhere from 75 cents all the way up to $11, depending on the age of the lead. This is somebody who went online, they found a quote form somewhere, and these leads can be competitive. You've got leads all over the country, really easy to find. This is where you get the person, you call them up and they say, hey, it sounds like my phone's blowing up with the telemarketers. Everyone's trying to give me my life insurance quotes. If you can learn how to sell these leads, you can literally sell any lead that we have access to. But again, from the most expensive at $11 down to the cheapest of 75 cents, The biggest thing I will preface this entire call with before I get into, I'm going to put quotes around it, the higher intent leads. A lead's a lead. Before I got on here, Kasha was explaining to somebody that a lead is a lead is a lead. And that is 100% true. And the biggest thing that I will say about that is, if you want to have an 18-hour dial day or you want to have a 3-hour dial day, sometimes that's the only reason that the type of lead is going to really change. And in the beginning, we have something that's called the time money pendulum. In the beginning, you don't have a lot of money, but you have a lot of time. Then as you start doing this for a while, you have a little bit more money and a little bit less time. So if I got a lot of time and not a lot of money, I buy the cheaper leads because I get more of them. I get more swings. I'm brand new. I don't know what I'm doing. As I keep going, my time is getting a little bit more valuable. And now I want maybe a more expensive lead that will save me time dialing so I can spend more time selling or recruiting or building my business. That's it. When you see a lead that goes up in price, it just means that they got more pieces of information up front to make that person a little bit more qualified. At the end of the day, if I book an appointment with a 75-cent lead and I get on the phone with them and I say, hey, Sheila, this is what you filled out however long ago. Is that what you were looking for or something different? If they say, yeah, that's what I was looking for, it doesn't matter whether she filled it out 2 years ago or 2 minutes ago. If she says, yes, that's what I was looking for, that appointment is just as valuable as a $92 lead. I need everyone to understand that. Now, how many bronze leads did I have to go through to get Sheila to book an appointment? I can't tell you that number, but it's pretty high because it's a 75-cent lead. But once I got the appointment, it's worth the exact same amount as any other appointment on my schedule. It does not matter. Okay. So internet leads, great way to cut your teeth. These are going to be the quickest, meaning that you're on the phone with someone. This is where you have to be the best at overcoming your objections up front. This is where you learn. So I highly recommend you get started with internet leads. For the longest time, our light at the end of the tunnel was work internet leads until you can eventually get to like some direct mail. Direct mail is drying up. It's not the future. The leads, when I first got started, direct mail were $40 a piece. Now they're $92 a piece. So yeah, they're still there, but it's not like the light at the end of the tunnel of like, okay, a lot of time, not a lot of money. Okay, I've got some money, but I don't have a lot of time. We would say, once you get there, get some mortgage leads. Well, you could try it, but they're just getting so expensive and the ROI is not there and it's not infinitely scalable. So there's some other lead types that we're going to talk about, and especially going into the different types that they're offering that I'm excited about. So I'll just go back up here to some different types of internet leads. We've obviously got our Spanish internet lead, which is exciting for anybody who speaks Spanish. Highly recommend that you go ahead and get your license in different states if you do speak Spanish, where they are generated the most, because this is one of our least competitive leads in the entire ILC. If you speak Spanish, you have a huge advantage. This is probably one of my favorite new leads that I'm excited about. It's an Ethos abandoned cart insurance lead. So if anyone knows anything about Ethos is one of our newest carriers. We've only been working with them for a little under a year. I got a chance to have dinner with their president, Martin Schaefer, and another guy, Nick Taylor, on the top producer cruise, and get to learn a little bit more about these leads. It's pretty cool because Ethos, they're not an insurance company. I don't know if anybody knows that. They are a tech company that happens to partner with a couple of insurance companies, and they put together this whole platform where they can partner you up with different carriers and get your application done super quick. Now, I like these leads because, I remember for the longest time before Family First Life started to work with Ethos, I remember seeing these Ethos ads. And I'm like, who the heck is Ethos? I'm seeing ads on my Facebook and it's like, so-and-so 44 got a $2 million policy with no medical exams for $10 a month. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That makes no sense. And I'm like, this is like competition for us. And then we got them as a carrier, and they didn't stop running ads when they became one of our carrier partners. They kept running ads. So if you go right now and you look up Ethos, you can go to their ad library on Facebook and you can see the hundreds of ads that they're running. So somebody goes to their website and they start to buy insurance and they don't finish, it becomes a lead for Family First Life. So now you can call this person and you can say, hey, Kasha, I saw that you were, looking at an application with Ethos for your life insurance. I'm actually, your licensed representative that's going to help you go ahead and finish that up. What were you looking for? you don't have to sell them Ethos. But this is someone who is already like halfway through an application or almost done, didn't put in their banking info, and you can go back and you can talk to them and continue the conversation. So it's like Ethos does all the marketing for you, and then if they don't make it through, then they end up in the ILC here. So that's $18 for someone that freshly, like just in the last 30 days, didn't finish their application with Ethos. The Ethos aged abandoned leads, that is brand new. These just came out, I think, a week or two ago. So these are 1 to 2 months old. They're $8 instead of $18. A lot of you guys, unless you're brand new, are familiar with these top two: the instant internet lead with beneficiary and the instant internet lead with a 15-step life questionnaire. So instant internet lead with beneficiary is the exact same lead as the diamond lead here, meaning it's a brand new internet lead. The difference is they require you to put in your beneficiary's name. So I call up, I look at my spreadsheet when I download them and I see, Bob Jones, and then I see beneficiary Mary Jones. Hey, Bob, this is Jamie. I'm just getting back with you. You sent that request into our office looking for more information on the life insurance programs, here in, York, South Carolina. You put down your beneficiary was Mary. And it's like, I'm bringing it back to the top of their mind. Yep, I did put down Mary as my beneficiary. So you got to imagine, if this is more information, there's a reason why it's $14 versus $11, even though it's the exact same lead. But they ask that extra question, who's your beneficiary? So it's a little bit more expensive. So maybe I need a few less of these to book up a full schedule than I would the diamond internet leads, but they're the same lead for the most part. Internet lead with 15-step life questionnaire. This means that they have filled out a 15-step survey and that you're going to get some of those answers in the notes section of the lead when you download it. So now it's not just, hey, is Mary your beneficiary? It's, it says here you're a smoker. It says here that you have high blood pressure. It says here this and that and blah, blah, blah. And again, it's just more information that's helping you, prove your legitimacy with the client. So the internet leads are great, but I'm excited for kind of where things are going and where it's transforming. I'll go over here to the direct mail leads. What's really cool is that direct mail in general, this is one of the updates I was going to give at the end, but I figure it just probably makes more sense now. Direct mail is migrating 100% to the ILC. So what that means is, you'll know if anybody's ever had to set up a direct mail campaign and you've gone through, Sasha or anybody at FFL USA's office, and you've had to look at a spreadsheet to see what's available and then send an email back and forth, you're going to be able to do 100% of your direct mail right here inside of the ILC, no longer having to communicate with an individual, seeing what's available with what vendors, which is going to be fantastic. But when you come in here to the direct mail section, what's happening is these are leftover direct mail leads that weren't sold inside of our traditional system that we have right now. So a call-in lead is somebody that got a postcard that had a 1-800 phone number on it, and they called in looking for more information on their mortgage protection, and then obviously they either finished or didn't finish the prompt. A silver means they did not finish it, and obviously they're popping in here. I love these fresh final. So this isn't showing all the lead types because that just means someone bought them today. So fresh final expense A lead. There's also fresh mortgage protection A lead. This is, if anybody's ever had somebody on their team go ahead and purchase a direct mail lead and then they didn't have enough money in their account, what happens? If they don't have enough money in their account, the upline would then, the lead would roll to them, and then the upline would have to pay for that lead. This is really cool because this prevents lead roll up. Anytime that you don't have money on your card, rather than the leads going to your upline or you losing, your contract for the leads because you can't pay for them, they drop into the ILC here and give agents a chance to buy them. So, a brand new final expense mailer. So maybe let's say you don't have any brand new final expense mailers in your area that are available because someone else locked them all out. You can come in here and check and see if somebody else, didn't pay for theirs, and you have 5 days to go ahead and scoop up those leads before they go to the upline, which is exciting. So here we've got, other mortgage mailers as well that range anywhere from, $2 up to $11, as well as these IVR leads, which IVR leads is just another fancy call-in lead. So IVR lead complete means that they went ahead and they completed all the prompts. So very similar to like a gold call-in, and then incomplete is like a silver call-in. This is just another vendor. So it can get a little bit confusing. But if you come up in here and you see, Colin Silver, it's the exact same lead type as these IVRs, just a different vendor, whatever IVR stands for. So a lot of different opportunities here. You can see 5,000, complete gold IVRs here nationwide, final expense mailers, etc. Okay, so that's the direct mail section. The section that I get more excited about, and this is the future of what's coming, is the social media and the verified section. So I'm gonna talk about verified. So verified, there's no leads available in this area. It's because they're not out yet. So a verified lead, similar to an internet lead, generated the same way, but this is really cool. So Integrity, a big thing that they're really working on is AI here in 2024, and they're using a AI bot to conversate via text message with the lead. And when the lead says, yes, I'm interested in life insurance, yes, I want to quote, yes, I want to speak to a representative, then that lead will drop into the verified system. Now, the reason it's called verified is because they're going to provide a text message transcript, a screenshot of the conversation, so you can see exactly what the client was talking about, which is really cool. So the verified leads are coming, which I'm very excited about. And I'm just going to go through the social media leads, and then I'm going to talk about some different updates of what they've done to make sure all of these leads are a little bit more legit just in general. So social media leads, you can see access to these nationwide. A new lead here that's probably the most popular one that we have is this Diamond Social Media Mortgage Protection Lead. This is a mortgage protection lead that's generated statewide. That is going to be someone who's requesting information on how to pay off their house if they pass away. That was generated on Facebook. These Diamond ones are brand new. You can see there's 772 here nationwide in the system today. Just to give perspective, like 2 weeks ago, I think the most I ever saw in here was like 250. So that means that they're ramping up the production of them because we're buying more of them. So that's what's exciting, is that we're using multiple vendors to pull these in. So I think one of the big things that is exciting is that you're going to be able to get all your favorite lead types right here in the ILC without having to go outside to other third-party vendors. And the more that we all embrace buying leads in the ILC, the quicker we clear them out, they're going to ramp up the volume so that in your state, let's say South Carolina or North Carolina or California or wherever, you're going to be able to, if they see those leads are getting scooped out of there and there's demand, then they're going to continue to generate them in that area. So Diamond means brand new. The Titanium looks like they are 8 to 30 days old. The Platinums, I'm guessing, are 30 to 60, and so on and so forth. This is brand new that just came in, I think just yesterday or today, the Diamond Social Media Final Expense Leads. So again, without listing out any specific vendor names, when I first got started, they said, hey, here's 3 vendors where if you go to them, they're going to have the favorite hobby on it. Very similar to those leads here with the final expense. I really like these. I just sent out a bunch to a handful of agents to test out, to get feedback on. These are the ones I'm looking for the most feedback on. And then lastly are our IUL leads. So Diamond, Titanium, Platinum. Again, the little gemstone names is just how old they are. And the Diamond is the newest. So IUL leads, these are people who are, looking for an IUL. And you call them up, hey, you were on Facebook and you filled out that form looking for more information on an IUL. I'm the representative that they went ahead and assigned to your case. So what's exciting about IUL leads, they are really going to start pumping these in, probably more so than even the mortgage protection leads. I want to give you all a statistic. I don't know if I'm even allowed to give this statistic right now, but I'm just going to give it anyway. So persistency is the big thing in our industry. Persistency is what percentage of people stay on the books. So this is Integrity average, is not FFL. 68% is the persistency of a mortgage and a final expense appointment for the most part. 68%. Across all IUL carriers, the persistency is 90%. And across just the IULE with Mutual of Omaha, it's 95%. So that means that Mutual of Omaha, IULE, IULs in general, 90% of the people still are paying their premium 12 months from now. Whereas 68%, and obviously that number is so skewed because My persistency with America one year was 96% for my 12-month. So that's one side of the average. And there's people who are getting their contracts terminated because their persistency is 40%. 68% is the average across the industry. So just in general, though, even with good agents and bad agents, with the same exact statistics and the same, all the way over here and all the way over here, 90% is the IUL persistency, which is crazy. Now, obviously, this isn't the call for structuring IULs properly and all that stuff. We're going to have one of those calls here in the future where we're going to bring on probably Zach Tardowski to talk about what he's doing with IULs, their new IUL boot camp, which is really exciting. But this is the future. IULs, a lot of people, they go, okay, well, I'm going to supplement my life insurance business by starting to sell health insurance. This was another statistic that came from Integrity. If anybody had to guess how many health insurance policies, and I'm talking like Medicare, ACA, open enrollment type stuff, how many health insurance policies would you need to sell average commission to make the average commission of one IUL? And directly from Integrity, they said 20. You'd have to sell 20 policies, the type of policies that we sell during AEP, to equal one IUL commission, which is insane. So IUL is the future. This is something that we're getting really excited about. We had agents that we met over the weekend that did over $1 million in just IUL last year, just 100% self-generated on social media, which is crazy. There was a couple that I met on the producer cruise that did 100,000 in a week doing IUL self-generated, no leads. So there is a market for friends and family, warm market IUL. I know that we get a little bit sketched out when people sell to friends and family. Sometimes we can't verify their business and if it's going to be fraud or not, but there's so many extra layers that goes into an IUL in terms of verifying that the person is who they say they are, that it's a little bit more protected on the IUL side if somebody does write friends and family business. So that's something that we're excited about. And if we get really passionate about learning IUL, teaching IUL, structuring IUL properly, high persistency, lower chargebacks, all the things. If you're one of those agents that wants to work less, and like, I don't know if you're on here, that's crazy to me. But if you are one of those people, just learn how to sell IULs and you can work less. You can do less appointments because the premiums are higher. So if you're one of those people and you're like, I want to figure out how to game the system so that I can work less and make more money, that's definitely the way, is to learn how to sell IULs if you're going to do that. If you want to just work hard, then you sell IULs and everything else and annuities, and you take advantage of every quadrant of insurance that we have access to, and you're going to have, a great time. So that is just some basic breakdown of some of the different lead types. I want to talk a little bit about vouchers here. So a lot of people don't know about vouchers. So this is from an agency manager perspective, you can incentivize your agents in any way. You can buy them a voucher. Now, this is like a gift card. So I can set up a gift card for a new agent in the system. I want to help them out. Now, one of the biggest things that I struggled with when it came to vouchers was I'm just going to send you $500 in leads. But I did network marketing for a long time, and it cost $500 to get started. And anytime that I bought somebody's getting started pack, they never worked very hard because it wasn't their money. They didn't have any skin in the game. So I love this thing right here. It's called a dollar for dollar price match. So for every dollar, so let's say Kasha's my new agent. I say, hey, for every dollar that you spend, I'm going to give you a $500 voucher. But in order for you to get $500 from me, you have to spend $500. So dollar for dollar. If you spend 500, I'll spend 500. 2 to 1. All right, Kasha, if you spend 250, or no, if you spend 500, I'll spend 250. So 2 to 1, and then a 5 to 1. So if you spend 500, I'll spend 100. So you spend 500, I'll throw an extra 100 on top. You spend 500, I'll spend 500. I love that because it incentivizes the new agent to put their own skin in the game. Okay. And you can obviously set up these vouchers for a specific product type. So if you only want your agent buying a specific lead type, you can. Obviously, in this scenario, this voucher works for all leads. But if you said, you know what, I only want you buying this type of lead, you can do that. You can assign it to anybody in your team, which is really exciting. So the new vouchers, I really like them. The next thing I want to talk about, which I think the most people are talking about right now, is the automate and save feature. So let me go ahead and grab a lead, throw it in my cart. So I'll come in here and we're going to do, let's just say that you want to get 40, we'll call them 40 instant internet leads with beneficiaries. So I come in here, I throw it in my cart, jump in here to the cart, and I see automated orders, view cart, and this automated save, automate and save button. So let me go ahead, view cart, automate and save. So there's a 15% discount applied to all leads when you go ahead and automate your order. Okay, so automated orders require a 4-week commitment. Current cost $560, but I would pay $476 if I went ahead and automated. So you could do this with any lead type. So let's say you're in South Carolina and you really like Diamond Social Media Mortgage, but there's only 5 of them in there today. But I want 5 every day. So you go in there and, I click, sign me up. And now I can change up the daily recurrence. So I could say, I want 40 instant internet leads with beneficiaries every Wednesday. I want them every day. You can set this up however you want. I want 2 a day, 5 a day. I want them every other day, start date, etc. And you can go in and you can set up this automated order. And by setting up an automated order, then you're going to, save 15%, which is exciting. So that is already here. It's not coming. You can go set that up right now and you can set up 15% discount on all of your leads. And then the other thing is, like, you're a business owner. When you set up, automated expenses, consistent expenses, it forces you to consistently work. So if you're the kind of person who's really bad at holding yourself accountable, having automated expenses holds you accountable to work. If you're like, I'll buy $500 in leads this week, and then I'm going to squeeze those leads for 3-4 weeks. Or you set yourself up and you get on automated order, no matter what that dollar amount is, it's going to force you to work. Okay. So that's exciting. Let's check out the campaign section here. I don't know if anybody knew this. Does anybody know that we have live transfers inside of the ILC? So live transfers, you see this I'm available button in the top right corner. So if I click I'm available, it's going to launch one of my campaigns and my phone's going to start blowing up. So I'm not going to click I'm available right now. But what I love about the live transfers inside of here is that they're $55 flat. If anyone's ever worked with a handful of different live transfer companies that we have access to, I've bid at $100, $120 for one call. It's disgusting. Like, the fact that anybody should have to bid that much for a live transfer is ridiculous. Because we have so much ability for volume, we have the ability to get it at such a low price. And what's funny is people go, okay, is FFL doing their own live transfers? Is Integrity doing their own live transfers? No, we're using all the exact same companies that you guys already know and you already use. They're just providing all of their data and appointments into the ILC. We're getting it at a lower rate because we're buying it inside of the ILC, and we have 18,000 agents that they have the ability to go ahead and market to inside of the ILC. So you guys are starting to see, okay, we're getting the exact same leads. So XYZ live transfer company, they're routing their leads here. They're the same leads. And for all of you guys who don't know about live transfers, a live transfer is not a special lead. It's those internet leads that I talked about in the beginning. The difference is a call center is dialing out for you. And when they get someone on the phone who says they're ready, to get a quote, then that is a live transfer and they get transferred to a representative. So you can turn on your live transfers. Again, in order to get a high volume, you need to be licensed in a lot of states. So I set up a couple of different campaigns here. So I've got a campaign here for South Carolina, North Carolina, Michigan, Florida, another one for Ohio and Georgia, another one for Texas. They're all active. So if I go ahead and click the I'm available button, then all 3 of these zones are going to light up, and I could be getting calls from any of those places. And I believe there's like a 90-second or a 2-minute window in which you can qualify the lead before they charge you as well. So those are cool. I don't have a crazy amount of data on them. I've ran a few of them. I'd love to get some feedback from you guys and anybody who's currently running live transfers to give me a comparison on live transfers inside the ILC versus outside of the ILC, and what that looks like. Okay, last couple things here. Okay, we'll talk about some things that are coming up. So there's something called lead scoring, okay, that's coming up here. And some of you guys might have already seen this. If anybody has bought a batch of internet leads lately, This doesn't happen on social media leads yet. It doesn't happen on direct mail leads yet, but the internet leads, there is a number score. So it's like a 54, a 67, a 72, a 92. That is based on an algorithm that Integrity put together, the likelihood that that person is going to answer and convert into a sale. So lead score. So you'll be able to go in and see that lead score on all of these leads. And that hopefully should help you figure out which ones are the most important to call first. Which one of these should I throw into a text message? So that's all super important stuff. The other thing is providing feedback to the ILC. So if anyone was here 2 or 3 years ago, if you ever complained about leads, they didn't take your feedback and they didn't give you a refund. They actually kicked you out of the ILC and said, hey, if you're going to complain about leads, you can't buy leads anymore. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I had an agent who went to their bank and they blocked the transaction. And then FFL was so mad that they said, okay, because you blocked the transaction, you can't buy leads ever again. Lifetime ban from the ILC because you decided to complain about leads. That's what it was like when we first started. Now they're offering a refund on just about everything. There's obviously some stipulations there. Like, if it's a good lead, verified phone number, like, they're doing a lot on the back end to make sure this is a real phone number. So back when we first got started, there was no verification whatsoever of any phone number. This could have been a landline. This could have been a prepaid mobile. This could have been a homeless person, like any of these things. Now you can provide feedback and get refunds because the ILC is looking to make sure that we do not continue to accept leads from specific vendors who are offering like $100 Apple gift card if you fill out this survey, and it actually is for a life insurance quote. And you're calling them up and like, where's my gift card? And you're like, what the heck? I'm calling you about life insurance. That happened. If that ever happens to you, go to the help section, provide the lead ID, and they're going to give you a refund for that lead. And there's a handful of different scenarios. They're looking for rental assistance. Like, there's all kinds of things that some of these vendors do to juice up the amount of leads that they throw into the system, because we're obviously paying for them in bulk. And when that happens, they're either going to fix it or we're not going to use that vendor anymore. But because we are now partnered with Integrity, they're offering refunds on all of those leads. If somebody, you call them and they're homeless, you can put that in there now. That is now a drop down on the menu. If they're homeless, you can get a refund on that. Now, it doesn't say homeless because homeless apparently isn't a politically correct terms. Without home, I don't know what it says there, but you can go in and you can click that and it'll give you a refund on that lead. So lead scoring, great. Likelihood of them answering and buying, that's awesome. The ability for you to be able to get a refund on phone numbers that aren't real, on people who weren't looking for insurance, like, that's all there. That wasn't available before. So you can really juice your leads and get every drop out of them, put that back in, buy 2 new leads if you had 2 bunk leads, which is great. So no longer when you get the agent that's like, I called up, I got 40 of them and 38 of them were disconnected phone numbers. No, like, that should be a 100% refund on those 38 leads if that actually happens. Like, they're going to want to verify it, of course. That's why you got to provide the lead ID. But that wasn't available before. It was like, sorry, man, just buy more. Now it's like, okay, like, let's give it another shot here and let's get you some that have verified phone numbers. Okay, this is a big one as well. The lead life cycle. Okay, so and I'm going to preface this, if this isn't going to work with direct mail yet. Okay, so if somebody goes in and they generate themselves in there multiple times, they fill out the quote form multiple times, they're not allowing that. If there's anybody in there who's a duplicate lead, so you will no longer be able to buy a batch of leads that has a duplicate name and phone number and get charged for that twice, which is a big deal. Direct mail, if they fill out multiple pieces of mail, they can't help that yet. You're going to be charged because mail is so expensive. But if anybody fills out multiple internet forms, the duplicate will be kicked out of the system. You can only buy one, so no longer will you have duplicate names on anything, number one. Number two, ILC is now connected to every single insurance carrier that we have access to. So what does that mean? That means if Kasha goes in and she sells Bob Smith a mortgage protection policy, Bob Smith is removed from the ILC and not resold as a 30-day or a 60-day-old lead automatically. Before, we would tell agents, as soon as you make a sale, go in and disposition your lead to sold, tell them to remove it. You'd have to email the leads department and say, hey, I sold this. And it was called suppressing your leads to make sure that nobody else came behind you and bought that 30-day or 60-day-old lead. Now it is 100% automatic. If you make a sale, they're in the Americo back office, the Mutual of Omaha, Foresters, John Hancock, Transamerica, whatever, any of our carriers. If that person has a sale made, they are removed from the ILC entirely. They cannot be sold as an aged lead. You can imagine how having that happen, forgetting to suppress your leads, people might come behind you and try to sell a policy 30-day, 60-day old, another FFL agent. So having that available is a really big deal. Another one, a lot of us use Phone Burner, Ringy, etc. In 2024, they will be completely compatible with the ILC. So you will be able to log into your Phone Burner, your Ringy directly here inside of the ILC without having to export leads anymore, which is going to be pretty awesome. Obviously, if you've got an external CRM, there's going to be some ways that we could potentially connect those things, but to be able to not have to download your spreadsheets and re-upload them into your dialer is going to be a pretty big deal, which we're very excited about. Couple new lead types that are coming. Some of you guys have been working the social media veteran leads. Those are going to be coming into the ILC here shortly. So somebody who's a veteran that's looking for final expense insurance. So that's going to be a new one that's coming in. Another one, there are a real-time campaign. I don't know if anybody's used a real-time campaign before, but there's going to be social media real-time campaigns. So rather than you just going in and seeing what's available and setting up an automated order, you can set up a standing order, very similar to what I explained before. If I want 100 IUL leads in these states, you leave that order standing. It's just going to fill your order automatically, which is great. The recruitment leads, which I talked about a little bit. Yeah. So social media mortgage, social media final expense, social media IUL. Those are the future. That's what's coming. More social media leads in general. Direct mail is going to be a lot easier to get access to, and they're looking for your feedback. Anybody who is new agent that has not yet tried some of these social media leads, I highly recommend it. I've got a few people that are trying out these social media final expense leads, today and tomorrow, and they're kind of some of the first agents who've got their hands on them. I imagine, they're about the same as buying a social media final expense lead from any other vendor that we work with. But the fact that you can get them inside of the ILC immediately, placed into your back office, whereas a lot of social media vendors, you go and you place an order of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 leads. And then as they're generated, you get 1, 2, 3, you get an email every time you get a new lead. Whereas I love this because there's no wait. If there's 40 leads available in your state, 40 leads are available immediately, which is fantastic. So I'm excited about what's happening. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about where we're going on the IUL and annuity front. So many new things are going to be coming here over the next couple of weeks. On Monday, without spilling too many beans, on Monday of next week, an entire recruiting thing that's going to be right in the ILC is coming for you guys. Everyone's going to get their own verified FFL, agent page. So it'll be like, SeanSimpson.familyfirstlife.com. And there'll be a 6-minute video from Sean Mike, and the ability, it's really sleek. Like, I was very surprised when they showed us the video. The video is great. They did a really good job. And the landing page is super legit when it comes to, you sharing that with other people who want to become agents. And round 1 is you're just going to have your own website and you get an email when someone fills something out. Round 2 is they're going to completely put all your recruiting leads into the ILC as well, which is exciting. And you'll be able to move them around and make some different things happen. So a lot of good things happening. I have a lot of faith in what's happening with Integrity, with the Integrity Lead Center moving forward. I know that a lot of times we've had to go to third-party vendors to be able to get the production that we were looking for, but I really do think that's a thing of the past, and we're going to be able to keep everything in one place. Everything's going to be able to be one price. You're not going to have to deal with, hey, sorry, this vendor is not accepting orders for another 4 days. You'll be able to get them when you want them, which is super exciting. So convention, that's the number one thing. We're pushing towards Dallas. We've got a huge crew that's going to be coming. I am trying to set up a small meeting for everyone to be able to come and tour the Integrity Marketing Home Office, which would be really cool. So I'm hoping to be able to set up a little tour for everybody on the day of the carrier meet and greet, which is the 31st. So definitely come in at least that day. I've got a suite at the hotel that the event's happening at. So we'll definitely have a spot for us to be able to meet up, which will be fantastic. And I'm looking forward, obviously, to meet every single one of y'all. We're going to start having some calls about more updates, but we're also going to be having some calls about, setting goals for 2024. And obviously what we're doing right now to set ourselves up for success next year. So I'm excited and I'm looking forward to it. So I've still got some calls tonight. I know there's a bunch of people on here still live dialing. If you want to learn, stick around. Lots of live appointments. So we appreciate y'all. If you have questions, please reach out. Future is bright and a lot of new updates coming. So I'll talk to y'all next week. Have a good one, guys.